Now to an extraordinary story about twin brothers. They're called Michael and Dan Smith. They were both independently enjoying university life when Michael first noted changes to his vision.
Well, within months he'd lost his sight, or most of it, to a rare condition affecting about just 150 people in the UK. And within a year his brother Daniel had also lost his vision.
Well, the twins are determined to continue their study, and they're also preparing to cycle from London to Amsterdam to raise funds and awareness for the condition. And they join us now. Welcome to the programme, both of you. Dan, Michael, nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. Michael, tell us first, when did you first start noticing your sight was deteriorating?
I've always had 20/20 vision my whole life, and I was just started medical school at Barts and realised I couldn't make out people's faces or see the projector anymore. So went to get it checked out, as one would, at a local opticians, and they just rushed me straight to hospital, and I suffered a catastrophic visual failure. My vision kept dropping off cliffs every single morning, so it was incredibly distressing, and it transferred from my left eye to my right eye very quickly. So in the space of about 2-3 weeks I'd lost like 80 to 90% of my vision.
And then, Dan, the same things happened to both of you. Was there any indication in your family history that this might happen?
We've looked back 4 generations and there's absolutely no trace. So it's literally a bolt out of the blue, and it's just struck very unexpectedly, and it's called the Sword of Damocles in Greek mythology because it's just a heightened period of good times, really, and you just get struck down by it very unexpectedly.
Michael, how rare is it?
I think there's no pattern across the world, but it only affects 1 to 150 people in this country. So there's hardly any support networks, or there's sort of no support networks for people as young as us who lose their sight, because it's obviously synonymous with people in their old age, really.
And how much, Dan, of your vision do you have left, and will that stay with you?
We've got incredible central scotomas, but because this condition was only sort of diagnosable 20 years ago, we don't actually know how far our vision will decrease, but hopefully we'll reach a stabilisation point, and I think Michael might have reached it at about 7% at the moment. So
7% of your vision left.
So yeah,
I only lost my sight 3 months ago, so I'm still waiting to get to that. Hopefully I'll stabilise soon.
Yeah, it's an awful lot to come to terms with, isn't it?
It is. It's psychologically quite very.
We just started university, and we were at 100% independence, sort of just left home, then brought crashing down, really. Had to give up everything.
Indeed.
End of life as we knew it, really.
Are you still studying, though? You're still
Yes,
working
I think the beauty of it, David Blunkett brought in a disabled students allowance, and we've basically had access to that, and we can still continue our studies. And 10 years ago we'd have had to drop out of university, but there's software out there, and there's helpers for us, and we've got note takers, so the great thing is we can still graduate.
Well, I couldn't carry on medicine because you need a high degree of a level of sight to carry on medicine. So I'm studying geography at King's now, but Daniel's been able to carry on.
Within the 3 months, Dan, of your discovering you've got this disease, you are already literally getting on the road to doing something about it, cycling to Amsterdam. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I have to crack on with life. So we're doing a 570-kilometre cycle ride to Amsterdam to basically say thank you to the charity who have helped us in our rehabilitation. And it's 9 hours a day in the saddle, about 140 kilometres a day. We're doing it in about 3.5. So yes, it's just to raise money for our charity Blind in Business, who are basically trying to break down the barriers and the red tape so we can continue as visually impaired people.
And Michael, you're with Sighted Riders, aren't you? So how's it going to work in practice?
That's correct. We've got 8 fantastic riders who were all medical students with me at Barts, and there's going to be 2 tandems. So Dan and I are going to be on the back of a couple of tandems, and there'll be 6 other riders riding solo, and so it's going to add a lot of increased challenge to the challenge.
Any reason why you chose Amsterdam particularly to go to?
I don't know what 7 chaps could do in Amsterdam, really.
I ran the marathon in Amsterdam in October, and I found it a fantastic place, so I thought, what better place to ride to, really.
Yeah, you're also a keen footballer, aren't you?
That's correct, yeah. I started blind football back in last November, and so I really missed football as a really integral part of my life. And joining London and the Middlesex blind football team was absolutely fantastic, really. I got picked for England in April in the development squad and the England senior team. And putting on my England jersey for the first time was, I suppose, every schoolboy's dream to play for their country. So, yeah, it was amazing.
How helpful has it been, Dan, to have Michael, who's also going through this at the same time? As you say, actually, he started losing his sight sooner than you, so presumably...
Yes, I effectively knew how I would end up. So Michael had the fear of the unknown. Would I go completely blind? But he's effectively blazed the trail, and I know the end game. So it's been, I would say, much easier for me. Obviously, it's still been difficult. It's been a slightly different situation in the fact that I knew I was going to lose my sight, but yeah, I would say it's been a bit easier because he sort of inspired me to carry on.
And a very difficult time for your family as well, I would imagine, Michael.
Yes, sort of as a parent, I wouldn't be able to imagine what it would be like for both of your sort of twin sons to lose their sight. I wouldn't wish what happened to Daniel on my worst enemy, but I've stood by him. But there's no sort of textbook to say how a 20-year-old deals with sight loss. But I think going through it together has made things much easier. Really, we sort of just use each other as a massive support source, really. So it's been
well,
exciting.
Thank you very much indeed for coming to speak to us this morning. We wish you all the very best.
Yes.
What, have you got a date for your ride yet?
Yeah, the 6th of April, and anyone could just go online and Google 7 men, 5 bikes to...
7 men, 5 bikes?
7 men, 5 bikes on the Just Giving link.
All right.
Let us know how you do. All the very best, and thanks very much for coming in, both of you.
Thank you.
That's Dan and Michael.